Morning, I'm Janet Rogers. I'm the grounds manager and horticulturist here at Farmington Country Club. Welcome to spring. The health benefits of gardens are well documented, both for the people who work in them and also for the people who view them. Nature can be very relaxing, and there's a lot of encouragement now to go out and enjoy nature. So perhaps you can come and enjoy our gardens either by walking through them and keeping your appropriate social distance, or just watching this video. Our container plantings are intended to be miniature gardens. We do a lot with container plantings. I know a lot of you in the past have expressed interest in seeing what we do and how we do it. But for today, what we're going to do is just look at the gardens themselves. As you can see, we combine a lot of different materials. With the bulbs for spring interest, we combine early, mid-season, and late flowering plants. So in these pots that we're looking at now, you'll see the early tulips that are starting to fade, the hyacinths that came on a little bit later, they're considered mid-season, and then we also have some later flowering tulips. Now, environmental stewardship is a big part of what we do. We believe in providing food for as long as possible for our pollinators and beneficial insects. So if we were to look at the lower patio, you could see that we have a lot of plantings of the early blooming Lenten rose. That this year actually started blooming in, I believe it was December. So any bees that were out, the flowers are in bloom for them to partake of. At this point, they're out of bloom, they're setting seed, so they're done, but the other things are coming into play. Many members, when they enter the clubhouse, come up on the north side of the club. They enjoy the views, and then they also enjoy the beautiful gardens that are here. These gardens are designed with a lot of detail in mind because we want to give people an opportunity and a reason to slow down as they enter the club. So what you'll find is there's a lot of variety in plant material, a lot of texture, and just a lot of details. Very often you'll see that there's something larger with something smaller planted behind it. So as you enter or as you leave, you may have an entirely different view. Right now the color in the garden really focuses on the tulips and the early flowering things. So we have the base of the pansies and violas that were here through the winter, but then you also, if you look carefully, you'll also see the foxglove foliage, and you'll see the sweet William foliage. There's camassia getting ready to come out, and then of course we'll always have our favorite ornamental onions. This is the garden at the corner of Tennis Road and Farmington Drive, and I think it's probably the favorite of many people because this is what they see when they come in and when they leave. The bed is an interesting mix of annuals, perennials, and bulbs. It's very closely planted. The carpet ground cover of blue is the wooden phlox, which is a perennial. Normally that does like a lot of shade. However, in the spring it can take some sun, and then for the summer months when it's hot and into the fall, it's overplanted with another mixture of annuals. We've also added to this bed the perennial foxglove and also some biennial sweet William that we raised from seed last fall, so that will bring us color a little bit later. Right now you're seeing the tulips, and we have the early, the mid-season, and the late again here. As we go into the spring, what you'll find is that the camassia will come up and bloom. That's a beautiful blue spike. The ornamental onions that so many of you enjoy, and quite a few other things as we get into the season. The gardens at the golf shop are designed for a long season of interest. This is a busy place. It hosts not only the golf shop traffic, but also traffic coming to the grill. So we have an area here that's bounded by evergreen, so you can see that we have the boxwood. That provides our winter structure. But then over the years we've also been able to incorporate some other things. So you'll find that we have a lot of the Nicodutia that's tightly budded now, but it should start to bloom within the next week. And then to complement that, we go ahead and we add other seasonal interest. So you can see that we have the pansies in the same color combination that we've used in the other areas for continuity. The kale that was here all winter, that many people remarked on the beautiful purple foliage, is into bloom, so that's given us some textural contrast. The mustard that we grew from seed last fall has given us a nice coarse texture, and then the tulips are interspersed. The fine white flower that you see here, we also raised from seed. That would be your one of your arabis. It's a perennial, and that just gives us a nice fine texture to sort of break things up. We work this garden as the season goes on by cutting back the pansies and violas selectively to provide windows of interest. So as we look on this side, you can see that we have a lot of the purple oxalis coming through. So that's a perennial, that's there. And so what we'll do is we'll selectively cut back the pansies and the violas to open up windows for that to come through, so that when the pansies and violas come out, we have the oxalis and it's a nice continuum. With our container plantings, we try to match the plants within the containers to the area in which they'll be located. These containers were originally designated for the fitness courtyard. However, with the fitness center being closed, we knew that if we put them there, no one would see them, so we brought them out here to the golf shop where they could be enjoyed by all. This is a typical blend of what we do in the spring. You can see your blue jacket hyacinth, we've got our orange princess and Princess Irene tulips, Marianne tulip, and there are probably some others that will be coming up and blooming later. So we like to mix colors, to blend colors, try to pull different colors out so that they pop a little bit more than they would by themselves, and we hope you enjoy the mix.